Hi, welcome. I'm Danny O, aka AtalaiA, and this is From the Speaker, a sonic social with industry insiders and artists from the world of music. Introducing Gabriel Ananda, a DJ producer who has spent many years at the top of the electronic music industry. He inspires loyalty in his fans through his devotion to performance, and he is the creator of hundreds of productions, including the German chart topper Süssholz, Ibiza hit Doppelwhipper, and the deeply emotive modern classic Solitary Daze with Maceo Plex. Lovely to have you here, finally. How are you doing?
I'm great. I think I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm super good. Yeah, I'm happy. New projects this year. I've been lucky with work. I've been okay. I can't complain. And plus, nice stuff with music. We've had some good releases together. Things have been going well on that front as well.
Yes, of course. I don't know. I mean, everything I have received from you so far was very high quality, and I think with your music, you're really spot on. You have the right groove. This is like you can listen to this music all over the world. Like South America, UK. I don't know, everywhere. You have the right groove, and then
yeah. Well, I think it's years of trying. Thank you for the good words, by the way. I think it's It's many years of trying to please everyone. As a resident DJ at Mambo, that made me because my heart really is with deep house. That's where I've come from, and that's what I love. But I like the vocals, and I like to make beats for the dance floor as well. And it's not always easy to combine all of these things, because the stuff I used to make was too dark, it was too deep to please a lot of people. But I want to make stuff that's got good drums. It's got a good groove to it, but it's also got the emotion and musical quality as well.
Yes.
So that's why I'm trying to tick all those boxes inside one track, and I think that's part of the reason I was drawn to the Soulful Techno.
Yeah.
And Gabriel Ananda style, because you're doing that as well, your music's really emotive. It's a bit unusual. It's sometimes experimental, but it's good quality. It's got a lot of soul. So
yeah, I think it's the healthy combination of a really organic groove with emotional instrumentation. I think for me personally, this is the perfect mix.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to feel it, but it's got to translate for other people as well. The customers in the bars, or the people listening to the podcasts, who might see it differently or hear it differently to what we do, because we spend so much of our life listening to this music. We probably have a greater depth of understanding. So yeah, we've got to try and translate our emotions and musical feeling into something that everyone can hopefully relate to. That's the goal anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the most important thing is that you can relate to it yourself,
Yeah. That's it. Well, that is so important. I'm sure you've had the feeling, well, maybe you haven't, but I have, when I used to make my early tracks and I'd play them, I'd be thinking to myself, I'd be overthinking all the time. This is such a good track, because I'm only listening to it over and over and repeat, and it's getting stuck in my head. And then I'll play it in the bar or the club, and I'd be like, this is not good. It doesn't stand up well next to another track that I like. And I'm like, It's a disappointing feeling. So you've got to spend a lot of time trying to get it right for you as well.
I see what you mean. Yeah. It can be both ways, Sometimes at home you think like, this is okay. You just put it together in 2 hours, and then you play it in the club, and it's amazing. And it can be the other way around, that you work on it for hours and months, weeks and months. Yeah. And it just doesn't translate to the club. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I find that hopping between quite a few tracks usually solves that issue for me, because you get stuck on one, and it can be a big problem for you. It can make you even depressed, because you're just focusing too much on one track. And I learned that quite a long time ago. I'm normally working on 4 or 5 projects at the same time, not at exactly the same time, but going between them, and then I'll put one down and move to the next one. And you'll get different things out of each one. Some of them will be like, it's going to be a fast finisher. You're like, this is a groove and I'm just going to knock this one out and it's going to be done quite quickly. And then you've got others with more elements and you think, I'm going to have to revisit this a lot of times. It's got a lot going on here and it's going to take more out of me. One I love is the Solitary Daze. I listen to that. It's like a reference track for me. It's because it's kind of simple. It's got simplistic elements like the chords, but the emotive side of it is nailed.
It's true. I mean, this is a track. The original version I really made in 2 hours.
Yeah,
it was finished, but it was not the same sonic experience than what Eric put into it. He put it like in the new time, and he also created this really amazing lead sound and stuff. So he made it really big. This is one of these tracks where I also did not expect anything, and it happens all the time. And when I expect everything, nothing happens.
Yeah.
But it's not even disappointing anymore. I just don't expect anything anyway. After 25 years of making music and releasing music, I can still not tell you if this is going to be big. Not really.
Yeah. It might seem big to you or I, but then no one else might get it. Or I think today it's like the promotion that it gets. If it doesn't get the Beatport banner and all that stuff, it just flies under the radar. And then people come back to you occasionally and go, wow, how come your track's only got 1,000 Spotify plays? This is amazing. I just found this track. Someone comes from nowhere and says that, and I'm like, because no one's heard it. It's exactly.
So it's also a question of luck and of promotion. But if you release at the right moment and there's also the right energy in the air and people start to send it to their friends and stuff, then it becomes big, I think.
I wanted to ask you about some of your older tracks, like the Doppelwhipper. Is that how you even say Doppelwhipper?
Yeah, Doppelwhipper.
Yeah. Like, what did it feel like? Was that a crazy moment for you, or was it a gradual growth over a while, that track?
It actually grew a little bit because this was part of my live set, and the first part of the track is the ending of the track of before. It's actually a completely different track in a sense. It has a different bass line, and then the grooves come in of Doppelwhipper slowly to create this transition, and then also this the sound, which stands alone at one spot, just because I had to switch all the other tracks on the mixer in my live set. This is why there's this break.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there comes in a new track, and I just put in the grooves and in and out. And I think I recorded like 10 minutes of it. And I remember when I was finished with editing, I thought like, oh my God, there's one break after the other. There's not even like 1 minute of a constant bass drum. And I was tired at the day, and I was just sick of it. This is the B-side. I'm just going to keep it. I think at the beginning there, you can also hear like a mobile phone noise.
Right.
And then I also, and then at the end, I also made this editing mistake. It's really horrible. I don't know if you ever realized, but when the main track is over, there's a part where only the hi-hat is there, and then I cut it, I think, like a 16th too early. So every DJ, too late. So when you mix it on turntables, your mix is always going to get messed up.
Yes, I do know that because it's happened to me. Yep. I used to play it sometimes in Bora Bora in Ibiza, and you'd be getting halfway through the mix, then you'd take your headphones off and just go, because the mix was lined up, and then you bring it in, you'd be like, whoa, what's happened? I thought maybe the was changing or something.
No, it's in the track. I once saw also Richie Horton playing it, like a video on YouTube, and he completely messed. And he was also playing, and on top he was also playing with the faders and with his own delays, Yeah. Basically, I was a bit inspired by his sets to use the filter and delay, And then he started to do the same thing, and it was always mismatching. But when he put in the bass dropped out on the record, And then at the end, the transition was completely messed up. So this was like the worst Richie Hawtin I ever saw. It was really funny. And it was actually directly inspired by Richie Hawtin's sets, because back then he played fantastic groovy stuff. And I thought like, oh my God, I also want to do like this super groovy, pumpy, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. That's what I like about your stuff, though. It's kind of, you just throw things into the mix. Like, that's obviously a very organic sort of track you've made. And, you know, it's not exactly clean cut, obviously. But that's what I like. I think that's where a lot of your amazing creative stuff comes from. Your creations. Just, I love that.
Yeah, I'm maybe not too perfectionist, you know. I'm just throwing things together, and it has to feel right, and then we're kind of done, you know. If I work too much on it, then it starts to get boring, and you overdo things. I don't know, or at least I overdo things. Some people, I think you are a person, you can really nail things on the point, right? Yeah. Not only the feeling, but also the sound and the mix, and everything is perfect. I have a really hard time doing this.
Yeah. I make it, I try and make it, like, I think mainly the drums, the drum boss sound perfect, but then I mess with it to a point where it doesn't sound perfect, but it still kind of is. Like, I'll take a swing out, I'll distort it just enough so that it sounds a bit dirty and a bit more organic, I suppose. But yeah, underneath, in essence, I have spent a lot of time making it as perfect as I can possibly make it, but I don't want it to sound that way, if you get me.
Absolutely. But I can hear it, you know, it's really, everything is in place.
Yeah, that's basically, that is because of the old 10,000 hours thing, you know, when they say you do 10,000 hours to get things to a certain level, and I've done 10,000 hours for sure mixing. So that's how that's come about. I suppose making decisions is easy now. Like, I'm fast at making decisions when it comes to mixing. So simply because of time spent.
Yeah, I do it since 25 years. I think maybe I have 20,000. I don't know, but I still have a super hard time making a mix. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's, you know, when I make a track, I put it together so that it sounds as emotional and as intense as possible.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh my God, the whole mix is like, everything is too loud, everything is too much. And then I tried to make it sound more professional, but on the way to make it sound cleaner, it loses all the energy and the intensity. And what I usually do is then after a week of mixing, I go back to version 2.
I think that's a good thing. You've got the priorities in the right order, because the human, emotional, musical side has got to come first, and that's what you're doing, and it shows.
Absolutely. If you constantly create high quality work, art or music, whatever, it will pay back at one day.
Yeah,
it's really true. And even if you have like a small community of fans, even then, you can be, you know, there are people who have 1,000 fans and they can make a living out of their art because these people are hardcore fans. There's also, I think, a book about it. And it's not the mass of, not the amount of fans, it's really the quality also.
Yeah, and how you connect with them as well. And that's another thing I think you do so beautifully. Because that's why I first got in touch with you, because of I used to listen to Soulful Techno. I used to get it because I'm running the radio station. And I started listening to it and I was like, wow, this is my sort of music. And I love the introduction speech you always do every time. Like, it's so personal and it's like you're this close to the mic and you're talking to me and it's so nice. And you're telling about your week or your month and things that have happened in your personal life. And it just felt like you really care about your community of fans. And it is actually a big community of fans that you have. But you really speak to them personally and you make it feel like they're all involved in the process of what you're doing, making the music and making your podcast as well. It's really, really nice. I think that's very organic.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I expect my fans to be able to deal with me, as a person. And I also, I think these people are advanced enough to deal with personal things of, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain in English, but
no, I do want.
I think you feel taken serious when you maybe listen to it, right? It's like I'm not telling you some bullshit like blah blah blah. I was playing here, Ibiza, whatever. It's so generic what most people say, and you feel generic when you listen to it.
Exactly, and I really want to move away from all that stuff anyway. Like, who wants to listen to a tech house mix of 1 hour with no voice over it? It's just a 320 MP3 of an hour, tech house, 124 BPM. Who wants to listen to that these days, really? When you have all these podcasts out there.
I mean, if it's really, you're right. You have millions of podcasts.
Yeah. It's that's why it's nice. You put your touch on it. Your soul is in it. The track selection, I know, is very important to you because I did a mix for you. We went back.
Yeah, and I really tortured you. I'm so sorry.
I like that. Criticism and stuff with music and everything is such a positive thing, and as you get a bit of, you realize that in your young days you get hurt by that, but then you learn that it's like, okay, this is making me better.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes criticism can be also destructive, but my feeling was, hey, you started the mix so amazingly, and then it kind of starts to get something else. I know you can do better. Because you made the beginning perfect, you can also make the rest perfect. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the DJ life. But this year, no DJ life really. I was lucky. I got to spend a bit of time in Ibiza with Mambo and a few gigs, cafe culture. So that was within the restrictions. But obviously, no clubbing this year. No DJing. Like, have you had a positive 2020?
Absolutely. I had a fantastic year. I mean, I'm 43 years old. I played a lot. I have seen a lot of clubs and festivals, and I'm not really missing it so much, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do miss it, but it's not making me crazy. I'm not dependent on gigs. I mean, personally. So, I don't know. When the Corona started, the air became so fresh. I had like the most amazing springtime of my life. I think I just saw the flowers and everything growing in the fields, and I was walking around a lot. I had a lot of free times. My sleeping rhythm started to get normal for the first time in my life, Yeah. For the first time in my life, I woke up at 8 in the morning and not at 10 or 11,
Yeah.
And my body started to release all the stress of 17 years of constant touring, and wow, it was amazing. It was really amazing. And I mean, slowly it gets a little bit weird because money now runs out slowly, and but I had a fantastic summer. And how was yours?
It was good as well. I've been fortunate this year. I've had other jobs and interests that have kept on paying, online stuff that I'm able to do from home as well. My radio work, podcasting interests. Personally, it's been a good year, aside from my worries and concerns for the rest of the planet. My friends who aren't in such good positions, the economy, the music, the nightlife industry. That weighs heavy on me because I know there's a lot of people suffering. But yeah, personally, the work, I've been fortunate. It's been a decent year, and making plans for 2021 now, and it looks brighter as well. I was speaking to a virologist on this show, and he's had some good things to say. The vaccines, he feels positive about the vaccines. He's helping to develop them, and I think if things go to plan, things go right, and the numbers keep falling down, then we could be looking at some positive things for spring and summer. But yeah, let's see anyway. Hopefully we get out of this and we get some solid, serious answers and we can get back to something of a normal life.
Yes, that's true.
But yeah, with that said, what have you got coming up? What plans do you have for 2021? Is it personal life stuff you're working on, or is it like music and starting to take gigs?
Yeah, I just wait for gigs to come in, honestly, and there's nothing coming in. I mean, there are, of course, some requests, and we moved some gigs to next year, but you don't know. I don't expect anything to happen, to be honest. That would be naive. I mean, it's possible that there will be no party for the whole next year.
So what about the label? What's coming up?
I was a bit careful with demos at the moment because honestly, it's an expensive hobby if you just release music, because I have costs. So not much is planned at the moment. I'm getting in some demos. I'm working with some people, and I still want to release, but I did not do much in the last couple of months. So what's coming up next is, of course, the Participants track with your remix.
Yeah, man.
Yes, thank you so much. And with a remix of Lexa, and
yeah,
I have little expectations. I think it's a really good release.
I've really liked it. Like, as soon as I heard it, I thought, good parts to be working with. I felt emotional when I was making that. It was really nice. Yeah, I thought I can put my own touch on this, and it's a really nice track. And I like Alexa as well. He's I hadn't heard of him before, and he's had some good releases.
Yes, very talented young guy. He has really this pop ear. I don't know, this techno kind of poppy, still underground. Really good producer, absolutely. I love how your track comes in at the beginning. It's so spring happy. It's amazing. How did you do that? Did you kind of cut the sounds or something?
Yeah, I think I'm big on filtering stuff in and out. That's I do with every sound in the track. I'm on the filter, every single channel, even the master channel at the beginning and end. I'm very tidy with it. I'll filter it in just so you don't notice. And yeah, I'll wait with the Participants track. Yeah, because there were so many nice elements, and I wanted them all in there, including the stuff I added as well. They couldn't all fit together because there was just so much stuff. A lot of filtering was needed. So yeah, I was bringing things in, building up, because there was a lot to work with as well. So, that gave me an opportunity to really build things up. And then, just let the main parts loose. And they were fantastic. And that's where all the emotion came from you. And then just get the drums right and let the drums hit after the break. And they were rolling really nicely. And then just start to filter everything out. So that was quite simple, really. This wasn't a big time-consuming one, but I went back to it a lot of times to get it just right. So yeah, I can't wait to hear the whole package.
Yeah, it feels really good when I listen to your remix. It feels really good in my body. It's this very happy feeling.
Oh, good.
And I think you have this in many tracks. You're a happy person, right?
Mostly, yeah. I'm
or sometimes not, and then it helps you to become happy again. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. I'm mostly happy. Yeah, but I've certainly got a deep and melancholy side. An introverted side is pretty prominent with me, but I manage that very well. I think I can put that into the music. That's why I'm a deep house guy. But I've got the ability to make deep house sounds happy, I suppose, and have lively energy, but at the same time to be melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
If that goes some way to describe it. But yeah, I felt good making that track anyway. You're
an emotional person.
Yeah, I'm a bit emotional.
That's what my wife said.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't sure because we just said some messaging. Hey, how are you doing? And she analyzes eyes, and you can tell so much when you look into the eyes. There's this whole science of iris diagnosis, and she could say right away, this person, he's really emotional. I thought like, okay, but it's really true.
It's not just in the eyes though. We have an inbuilt system. We can read all the lines and subtle movements of the face. You know, it's in our DNA. We know how to read subtle things. That's why, you know, if you're in a bad mood or you're in a bad place or you don't want to talk, people can just tell. Some people will just say to you, like, what's up with you today? You don't even have to be giving anything away. And they can tell just by a slight difference in the lines around your head and your eyes. We've got deep training in things we don't realize.
Yes, exactly. It's very interesting. And sometimes I'm very empathic, and sometimes I don't even know, am I feeling this emotion or is it coming from the other person? Do you know this?
Yeah. Because you can feel things from other people. I believe that. I really do. You know, your emotions, if you're thinking bad thoughts about someone, if you're thinking good thoughts or love about someone, it makes things happen without you actually speaking or physically acting. I believe that.
Yeah.
It's true. I've seen it happen.
It's really true.
In my own
I really believe that too.
Yeah, if you're having toxic thoughts all the time, like if you have a hatred for an ex or something like this, or just a hatred for your job, a hatred for something, it develops into something toxic, and that goes out into the universe. You know, people use the word karma all the time, but maybe that's not the exact feeling or emotion I'm trying to express. But I think there's something similar to that balances out whatever it is you're putting out in the universe, comes back to either benefit or detract from your life. I really believe that to be true. I've felt it, and I've got experiences that, you know, really highlight that. I think we all have.
Do you meditate sometimes?
Every day.
Ah, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't always sit and meditate specifically, but I do. I try and meditate as I go along. I try and be in the moment and be self-aware. So yeah, today I did just a 10-minute meditation, but I do sometimes yoga as well. Yoga's got breathing. I sometimes do Mr. Wim Hof type stuff. I do like cold showers. I do a lot of training. I like train twice a day, and sometimes that is being in the moment and really thinking about myself and thinking deeply and clearing my head of all thoughts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you don't always need meditation. Your body's not programmed like that to say, like, you have to do 20 minutes of meditation every day. Your body doesn't need the same things. Your mind doesn't need the same things in a regimental way every day, because it's always changing.
I did a lot of meditation in the last winter, actually.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It has crazy effect on like fantastic effects on my life. I felt so much better. I had so much space for other people, empathy. And, you know, problems were not problems anymore, because when you feel happy in your body, basically, when you meditate enough, you feel happy.
Yeah.
And when you feel happy, who cares if you have more or less money, or if you have stress, you know, you're happy. So it's a completely different life.
Well, thank you very much anyway.
Thank you.
I don't want to take up any more of your evening. I really, really appreciate you. And it's lovely to actually chat with you properly like this as well. It's been really, really nice, because we're normally just emails and voice notes, aren't we? So it's been lovely, and I really look forward to the music we're going to release together. I'm very excited about it, and I'm sure it's a good start of a good journey this year. So yeah, thank you very much, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye. See you. Bye-bye.
Massive thanks to Gabriel Ananda for that lovely chat, and thank you all so much for listening.
I think that's beautiful.
For more podcasts and new music, visit AtalaiAmusic.com and link up with me on my AtalaiA YouTube, Mixcloud and Spotify. Take it easy, people. Catch you next time. Goodbye.